What's your mic for?
Believe it or not, this will shock you. This will shock you, but we let them talk.
Welcome to the show, Luke and Lewis, with very special guest Andy Lee.
I agree, we shouldn't.
You sure I shouldn't have two mics?
Yeah, that's true. That's good. Throwing shade straight away. Welcome to the show, mate.
Yeah.
Nice to be here, guys. Yes.
Would you like me to turn their mic off? I can.
Wow. No, let's not. Let's. Yeah, it can be like the worm in a political debate. And we should match that to the volume of the mic.
Yeah.
So if people aren't really enjoying them,
We differ.
the volume just kind of goes down.
That's a
Yeah,
great
okay.
idea.
In fact, that's a much better idea for political debates as well.
Yes.
It's just, if
They're
people,
losing the crowd, turn them down. That's great.
the people that are really not registering with the crowd are yelling by the end, trying to pick up on other people's minds.
Yeah, as it gets lower, it's really hard. You make a great point. It goes, I didn't really get what he was saying. Fuck, muted.
Yes, fast half volume. You got no chance.
Andy Lee, welcome to the show. International listeners should probably know who you are. You guys have got some any traction overseas? I mean, your podcast.
Yeah, we do a little bit. Where are your international listeners?
A lot of America and UK. I
was going to say all around the world, but
Yep,
that's
yep.
But what Luke means by all the way around the world, there's like one in Beijing, there might be two in Sweden. So they're all around the world, but they are all put together very small.
Angola we've got a singular Angolan.
Isn't it crazy that person hasn't recommended anyone to it?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Like you're seeing one person on the analytics going like, tell a friend.
Exactly. and I put out and said, hey, if you're the Angolan, please hit us up.
I've tried this and they never do.
No, so I suspect it's a bot.
It's a VPN.
Yeah,
probably.
There's something weird going on there.
Yeah.
But no, States, Britain, it probably actually goes New Zealand for us is the second most country.
Yeah.
Then,
Wow.
Didn't you broadcast there?
Yeah.
Ours is America for sure.
Show went out there. And then it goes Britain and the States.
Yeah.
But our highest YouTube viewership comes from Sweden.
How weird.
Wow.
Isn't that bizarre? Yeah.
You guys have a video go viral in Sweden.
I don't know why it is that, but that's our
Just
highest.
a gap year video from the Swiss
probably-
Alps or something like that
yeah,
going, oh, very good.
Yeah, it probably was. So we did rabbit jumping in Sweden, which is an actual sport
What's that?
where it is kind of like it sounds, but it's just they train rabbits to jump hurdles.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Like horse show jumping, but with rabbits.
yeah.
Great.
Okay. And they've also got a high jump discipline, and you saw these rabbits kind of go up, and like they would leap to my shoulder height over bars.
Wow.
It was awesome to watch. We purchased like a good pedigree rabbit, and because we tried.
What does a good rabbit go for?
Well, it was in euros, and it was quite expensive actually. It was a few hundred euros from memory, but we
Invoice Channel 9.
Well, if it doesn't do well, you can just sell it to the dog food place.
True.
But,
You did say it was a pedigree rabbit.
It was a pedigree rabbit, and we went. We don't know what happened,
Great
but
dog
it was,
food joke. I think went underappreciated.
Yeah, well done, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
It was. We had him. It jumped like every single hurdle and was flying around, and then got to the last one and just balked and wouldn't jump, and we lost, and it didn't complete. So it was kind of the biggest fuck you that you could do to an owner, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like
I could if I wanted to, but I've decided not
led
to.
us on the whole.
Did it get
time.
distracted?
Not from what we
Or
could
was it an
tell.
act of defiance?
It
at
felt
the end?
more like an
Yeah.
act of defiance, where you weren't here. You don't know my life. You
That's
only
true,
bought
you
me
just
this
showed up.
morning
Yeah.
to try and win this thing, and I'm not playing anymore. That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, it's good. I'm
What
not
a
a porn.
rude rabbit.
It was a rude rabbit.
Intelligent, but very rude.
Yeah.
Now, we met back in the radio days.
I
That's
suppose
how...
we should explain how we met each other,
Yeah.
because we've known each other for a while, but we've never really talked about it because, to be honest, we didn't think you'd come on our show.
Well, you've come on in the past, in the radio
Yes.
days. Both you and Hamish have been on. And
Yeah.
Jack was up for Guest of the Year last year.
Really?
So now this year you'll be up for Guest of the Year.
Chance.
Join us to get Jack back on just so you can beat him.
Well,
Oh, you know what?
a little bit of me.
Our audience does love an underdog. So.
A little bit of me doesn't want you to get Jack on.
Done.
Poor Jack. Because I'm pretty sure we were like, mate, we'll have you back anytime. Just not
Well,
this year.
you kind of hits a nerve because Hamish and I in I reckon 2001 or 2002 were up for best talent for our Channel 31 show. It was the Antenna Awards.
All right.
And we lost to a 15-year-old punk called Jack Post.
No way.
Yes, the only time I've ever been up against Jack in an award, he won. He beat both Hamish and
So
I.
you're a bit nervous then.
So I just don't want him in the group. I don't want him in the nominees because
Right.
history might repeat. So if you get
And now that you've told the audience that, it's audience voted, so they can rig it.
that's why you can't bring it. You can't have him back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll never.
Or
have
if
him
he
on the
or if he
show.
comes back on, he has to come on under the agreement that he's ineligible.
Okay.
He's not a guest.
We'll
He's
make him a
not guest.
co-host.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
acquaintance.
then he'll be up for co-host of the year.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
and-
and you don't want that.
Yeah. Who won last year? Me.
I think
It was rigged. They all made a union against me on the show last year, and everyone who listened to our show thought that was foul play.
I felt sorry for you.
And then it was a sympathy win, but I still took it. And then I ended up dogging everyone.
Yeah, you
on the
betrayed
night.
all of the listeners.
I then
and joined
betrayed the
our
listeners
union.
on the night. We have like a big end. It's called the
Wow.
Loogies.
Yeah.
The Luke's, yes, I've seen. Yeah,
yeah.
Because you've hosted the Logies,
Yes.
which who cares?
absolutely.
You've never hosted the
Embarrassing.
Loogies.
Quite honestly, who cares? The crowd, the audience certainly doesn't. I mean, when you are hosting
Australia certainly
when you are
doesn't.
yeah, exactly. When you are hosting the Logies, with the Loogies, tell us the setup. Is it like at a pub or something, or at a stage
So
show?
imagine the Logies.
Yep.
Better.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
black tie.
Easy.
Yeah. So it's just us in a park
It's-
throwing mud.
It's casual, so it's black tie, which people often get confused, but it's just black tie.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's
So it's
formal.
casual
Yeah,
event,
yeah.
but some people wear it around the head as a headband.
Right.
Some people do an armband.
Yeah, that's how black tie should be. And so,
We
for
did it at the
instance-
Comics Lounge last time.
great. So you had seats with everyone facing you.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Everyone
Logies,
who's attending.
you don't.
Really?
Everyone attending is sitting at
In
a
a
round
circle.
table
Oh, they
and
are.
they're
I've done
eating
gigs
dinner.
like that before at footy clubs.
And
It's awful.
yeah, and so thankfully, as Hamish and I kind of progressed a little bit in our careers, we had enough people that would turn around and give you maybe the start of what you were saying.
But still, you don't want to
But-
laugh like that. It's uncomfortable.
You're kind of performing to the people at home anyway, because obviously it's really distracting in the room, the clinking of everyone eating and stuff. But you've got to think when you're watching that at home, like it's very faint, the
Well,
clinking.
there's an issue with that, Luke. No one watches at home.
Okay.
So you normally see when we first started 50% back of
You're going in
heads.
pretty hard here.
Yeah, but that's all right.
That's right. I love Hamish and Andy, and I'm a big fan of the Logies. This is all satire and performance.
You see 50% of the people's backs of their heads. As I remember because we were hosting kind of early on our careers, like different segments, and it was awful bad beginning, and then it kind of graduates to bearable because you get goes from like 50% back of heads to kind of mid-20s back of heads.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's great.
That's great.
That's a 50% turnaround.
Can you name and shame someone who never turned around?
Uh
We all know it was Carl.
Joel, look, I can't remember, but I'm just going to say Jamie Jury.
Boom. You got
May
it.
as well.
Exposed.
There's not a huge risk of him hearing this either. I don't think he's in our demo. He's
Yeah.
ex Channel 7 Gardeners
Yes, and was a stripper.
stripper.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was too. I
Yes,
forgot that.
Yes, and he very short.
And once, I'm a long time listener of the show, from memory, correct me if I'm wrong, tried to hit on Hamish's grandma, Moosey?
Oh, potentially.
No? You guys didn't do a bit about
I mean,
her trying to bang
You
Jerry
would have done
Jury?
so many shows.
Jeez, if I've made that up, that's weird on my behalf.
Haim and I have this problem where we tend to not remember anything we've done.
Well, it's a good thing you've got a new project called the Remembering Project.
Yes, that's why the podcast exists.
Yeah.
So often I'll read out what the break was, and Haim will I
Yeah.
have no idea what we're doing there.
I like
But-
that as well.
But Mike,
do that.
who works with us,
He always does.
He always remembers, and he was such a fan of the show, so he remembers what was going on at the time better than we do.
Yeah, Mark's like an encyclopedia of your show.
Yes.
Because we used to run ideas.
And yours, by the way.
He is,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, he's right up to date with what you guys are doing. He fills us in all the time.
Well, that's good.
He calls me and gives me notes. You know, he's like, "Oh, Andy's coming on tomorrow. Man, stay away from, you know." Just like, I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. No, that's
Actually,
good.
can you take his glasses home?
Yeah. He left his glasses
He's
here.
leaving these glasses here.
Yep.
I think he got them from you guys. You got free glasses.
Yeah,
or
that
something?
sounds like that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'll
So
get them. I'll get
well,
them
that-
tomorrow.
I want you to know that he doesn't take care of them,
Yeah.
and they've been on our set for weeks, and we're only keeping them there so we can come pick them up.
We were just waiting for a guest who knew him to return them. So
Is that
thank
the
God
only
you
reason
came.
I was invited on?
Yeah, just to do some errands for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you need me to drop off as I
Yeah.
do the run out to Northcote?
Yeah, maybe. That is good that we can talk about Mike fondly, you know, because you did steal him from us.
Yes.
Yeah.
We absolutely.
Yeah.
And
We
we're not
have a
worried about it.
bit of not beef. It's more of something to raise with you guys. But I think it was Will Anderson first.
What's a low grade beef? So should we choose a different meat? I just, you know what I mean? Like you're saying,
it's
it's
a
not,
bit of a straz with you. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not veal.
Yeah, it's not veal.
beef.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
bit
like
of a
from the
straz.
deli. Like,
yeah, good.
IGA's Deli.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
a straz.
look
which
at some
is just-
Aldi straz to bring up with you.
a straz is an irk.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
We came up with Radio Mike.
We invented him. He'd be nothing without us.
He'd be
Yes.
nothing that we
You
created.
called
the
him
man.
Radio Mark.
Yeah. And
Well,
he
technically it was
still-
self-proclaimed nickname, but then it stuck from our show. I would say we coined the phrase, we popularized the
He
phrase.
wanted to be called something else, and then we
Sideshow
forced-
Mike because of The
Yeah.
Simpsons. Terrible
Yeah.
nickname.
Right.
Awful.
You guys, because I'm the guy on the site. No.
Yeah, but we created Radio Mike, and
Absolutely.
we still collect 20% of the money you pay him, which is
Right.
great. Thank you. That's how we pay for this.
Oh, cool.
But I was
I knew that
listening
extra box of Savoys hadn't come from nowhere.
to... Yeah,
Big
don't want to
money,
brag,
that.
but $6, $2 each. They were on special. Anyway, I was listening to Will Anderson's podcast, and then Mike does some work for Willosophy. Great,
Which we were
great
unhappy about.
podcast. I hear Will starts calling podcast Mike, and I'm thinking, hang on, this is no good. Then on your show a couple times, I hear you and Hamish float the term Radio Mike. Now you guys have changed to podcast Mike.
Well, no, I think we're still Radio Mike. I think was still who we just called him, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we've.
I've realized we can't really claim a nickname. I got halfway through this Straz and thought, this isn't going anywhere. We're trying to claim a nickname that Mike quite enjoys fondly, and you guys are just being nice by giving him.
So that was pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys made it famous.
Of course.
That's all we wanted, I think.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, great.
just wanted to
Straight
restate
over.
that, you know, without us, there
Yeah.
would be no Remembering Project.
Well, probably. But you guys made it famous. And so when he came on, I suppose if he felt that that was his brand and it was going well, I was going to keep using
Yep.
his brand. It wasn't like we were trying to claim it. Same way as like Osher Gunsberg was Andrew G and before that Andy G.
Yep.
Whatever name he's deciding to be on the day, I'll use out of respect to him as the
Yes.
guest. And
Yeah,
I
okay.
did the same to Mike or Radio Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, what an earnest answer. Thank you for explaining that.
Well, I'm glad the Straz is over.
Yeah, it's done.
Well,
Well
we
done.
squashed that
I, kn-
Straz.
I knew that this whole thing had started on edge because we hadn't dealt with that.
You
I
say
feel
you
a lot
came in,
better.
it was
Yeah.
tense.
This is like a Willosophy.
Yeah.
Really got deep.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's not like a philosophy because no one's stealing any nicknames here. Come on, Will.
So I suppose we wanted to talk about like how we actually met. Like
One thing we did bond over at the radio station was we had a mutual boss in Dave Cameron
Yep.
at the time. Great boss. And we used to do this segment. I don't know if you've ever got wind of it, but we used to do this segment called Is Dave Listening?
Oh, great segment.
because
Yeah.
he used to
He's
always
promised us.
say,
Yeah.
because he's the one that hired us. Because initially we reached out and then they said no, and then he took a chance and was like, "Nah, come in." So we were like his responsibility at the start at least, and he always said, "Boys, I listen to every show. After every show we'd see him, we'd finish in the afternoon. He'd go, 'Great show, boys.'" And so we were
on
like,
12 till 2 p.m. in the middle of the workday, 5 days a week. We know he's busy. We know
On digital?
Yeah, on digital radio.
Yeah. And we
Like,
were
do
like,
you even have a digital radio in your office?
if he does listen to every show, he shouldn't be working there.
Yes.
Because he's slacking off.
Yeah, fair enough.
So either he's a bad at his job or lying to
We
us.
didn't want him to particularly listen for his own career's sake.
Yeah, no, he's lying to you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
But
that's what we decided to test.
Did you guys, did he used to say the same thing to you? That's what we wanted to know.
Or still does. But what we realized what we realized is whatever you post.
Then he watches. He watches the clips.
So he follows you on Instagram, and whenever you post, he'll go, "Guys, great show. I loved that bit," and he'll tell you.
He's a
Because that's
highlight
what you
fan.
thought was the best bit, which
Yes.
is why you posted it.
why I posted
Yeah,
it.
that's great.
And
That's
so
a great little hack.
That's what his move is. Until we went, "You're just watching Facebook and you don't listen to the show."
Yeah.
And he went, "That's unfair." I said, "That's true."
That was an absolute.
There's a difference.
So there was an absolute ripper one day. The segment was we paced out how long it took for him to get to his office to our studio.
with
And
the
we-
delay in mind.
With the delay in mind as well. We started a clock and we'd put out a threat. Like every single week we did it. We're like, we're going to do this today. One day we got an email from the company. It was the day of your last show.
Yep.
The arena show you
yeah.
did.
No, cool.
And the whole office got an email going, if you want to leave early to go to Hamish and Andy's show today, all good. So we were like,
and it specifically
perfect.
said
We had
all
tickets.
staff.
Oh,
It said all staff. And we were still on air because this is when we were doing 4 till 6, I think, at that point.
great.
Or no, you guys were doing 4 till 6. So we would have been doing 2 till 4 for a bit.
Okay.
And we
Yeah.
definitely should have still been in the building when you guys were starting. And we were originally planning to come later to your show.
That was the debate we had on air. Was like, oh, we're not allowed, but it
We are
says
staff.
all
All
staff.
staff, yeah.
The all staff is all staff.
That would stand up.
Yeah.
And so did you leave?
Well, so we put out the threat. We go, you know what? We'll do it for an Dave listening. If anyone was going to stop us here, it'd be Dave. And we all know that he listens to every show.
Yes.
So if he has a problem with this, he'll just come in and tell us.
Yes.
So we had an hour and a half left of our show.
We
to
were
do.
half an hour in. We put out the threat. He doesn't come in. We go, oh, too bad. We leave Radio Mark in the studio for an hour and a half. He's coming back to songs going, Luke and Lewis have left the building. He's calling us on the way to the venue like, are you coming back? We're like, mate, we're already at Margaret Court. Right? Then it gets better.
Fantastic.
So I'm walking down the aisle seats. I think you guys are about to come on. The stadium's starting to fill up. Dave Cameron's walking up the aisle. I go, oh, shit. And then he goes, to my face, he's like, Luke. And he goes, love the show today, mate. And then he just kept on walking, and I was like, thanks. And then
So not only was he never listening, he had no idea when we were
he
even
was
on.
at the arena. I was like, dude, it's Hamish and Andy's last show. No one's at the company's listening to our show today. It was your last show ever on radio.
That is awesome. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. Dave would come into the start of our meetings and just leave normally about 6 minutes in and not tell anyone. So he'd always sit next to the door and then just try and slip out.
Yeah.
And it was always so obvious. And then we'd always go, as soon as he's trying to get out the door, busy, are you, Dave? It's like, oh, sorry, guys, just trying to slip out without anyone noticing. Yeah, we know, because you do it every single day. You like to pretend you start the meetings, but the start of the meeting is always boring.
Just don't come.
Just don't come.
If
That's
you're
what I
gonna
said.
be there
Just
for
don't
6
come.
minutes.
Yeah, it was normally him trying to work out how his iPad worked, and now he's in charge of digital stuff. It's a bit of a worry.
We
He
love
does do
Dave.
great work there.
Oh, he's
an
awesome.
absolute legend.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And
I
it's
mean,
I would
flawless
say,
track record. Other than hiring us, he's nailing it.
yeah. Yes, he started off strong and then, pivoted at the
So
end
we
to
met
us.
though.
Because we wanted to know, how did you even find out about us? Because
Was it the walk to work?
Yeah, Hamish told me about you guys.
right?
Hamish said, "Hey, I've heard these guys that are nowhere near as good as us." No, he said, no, he said, "I heard these guys. They're doing things that are kind of be right up our alley, right? Kind of the kind of ideas where if something came up top, it was like, yeah, we probably would play in that realm. You know, you might want to listen." So that's how I started listening.
To steal our ideas.
No, just to enjoy.
Smart. We are very good.
Just to enjoy like an 80% version.
Yeah, like your show with no budget and half the talent.
Yeah.
No, I you know, Haim was the one that said that, and I was like, and he was right, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And I just love the way you guys were taking ideas to that next level of silliness, but also full commitment to an ideas like leaving this studio.
I think that's what put us on the map in the office those ideas. Like everyone found about us when I did the walk to work thing, because like the day before he was like saying I live in the country because I live in Diamond Creek, and he was
No, I live in the city.
I was like, no, dude, it's like, and he's like, well, if you live so close, you could walk to work.
I remember that.
And I was just like, all right. I woke up at 5 a.m. the next day and just got walking to prove a point. And then at the time, we didn't think it was that much of a good bit. Like we were like, this is a lot of effort for a small
conclusion
payoff.
to the idea of like, well, of course,
And we
you
don't
have to do
fake shit either.
No.
So it was like there was parts in the walk. I'm 3 hours in. I was like, is this still an 8 or is this a soft 4? You know, I'm walking through Heidelberg going like, there's a long way to go.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It's like Haim and I just didn't fake anything.
Yeah.
Ever. And then the risk became extra high because, like, even if we were time poor or whatever, as we got older or busier and other, like, it was like, they're like, oh, maybe we just trim the edges here. Like, yeah, but if we get caught on this one,
everything's fake.
Everything's fake.
Yeah.
So that was where the stakes became way too high, where we kind of feel like we should just fake stuff early because then you would have given yourself a license. But yeah, I'll give you the greatest example. We're in Vietnam. We're doing a 350 lap race of the world's busiest roundabout on really tiny motorbikes.
Yeah.
So
easily fakeable.
Yes. My bike conks out and Hamish has 110 laps to go or something. And we're like, oh, well, we've been filming for hours anyway. We know it's only going to be an 8-minute bit. Like, let's just say you made it and do a few more laps and, you know, what's going to happen. And Haim's like, while riding, like we're kind of trying to chat to him and like
every lap, you're like, what about if we?
He's like, no, and then his next pit stop is like, nah, I could also be a did not finish if my bike conks out. And we're like, yeah, but do we even care? Do we want to finish? He's like, no, I'm going to do this. So I sat there and watched him for another hour just do laps of this while the whole crew was sitting there going, really? And sure enough, he got it. He did his 350.
That was a great story you told us well on a podcast once. It was like that one where you were strapped together on Rove, and then Will Anderson came out the radio station and got into a cab. And what did he say?
He was like, wow, you guys really put in, or something like that. You're really committed. But yeah.
Because there's like this moment where you're just like not on camera, sitting on the side of the road strapped to each other, waiting for a cab.
Yeah, because we couldn't drive because we were strapped together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that. There's so many problems with that. And how did you use the bathroom?
We had to sit. You had to basically squat next to each other. Like that was the hardest thing for your legs.
Hamish took a dump on Rove.
Well, I was sitting not on Rove specifically.
Not on Rove McManus. It was on the TV show.
So trying to like squat, and then because we stayed in my apartment, we put a little stool on the side of the bathroom, the toilet, so the other person could sit on the stool while the other person went. It was gross.
That sucked.
But like even sleeping was the toughest. Like you'd think, let's just try and. But this is kind of before social media was really a thing. But we gave.
You guys would go viral by word of mouth. Like as a younger kid, like I would hear all the time. Because my mum loved Hughes and Kate, so I never listened to your show because in the car I was only listening to Hamish and Andy. I mean Hughes and Kate, but I always heard about what you guys were doing on radio, and then I would watch Rove.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so to try and make sure people would just kind of get the authenticity test going with the conjoined twins, we gave Mike apartment keys to 2 different journalists, said you can come whenever you want. And we also tried to set up like webcams, but they weren't really that big a thing then anyway. But like at 3:00 in the morning, wake up and there's cameras flashing because the journalists had come through, let themselves in and start taking photos of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we're like, well, and then it was and we were just tired and stinking, and you'd finally got to sleep even though you're that close to someone and you're waking up. But there were the things we wanted to put in place to go, this is actually
that's
genuine.
better. Like that's so funny of like the idea of journalists at any moment being able to catch you faking makes the whole world go, well, they have to be doing it then.
Yeah, just kind of keep trying. And I think that's the key for...
We had paparazzi following Luke the whole way there as well.
I mean, none of them showed up, but we invited them all.
But the other thing was like...
We got a few honks.
Yeah,
like a few fans actually worked out the route we were going to take and then met us on the way.
Yeah, to make sure.
We were doing it. Fans keep us in check.
Yeah, that's great. We like the other thing that is changed massively is the print press. Like it's called Confidential now. It used to be called The Eye, back say in the Herald Sun or Daily Telly. They actually would just report on fun things. It wasn't scandalous. Like you would make the paper if you did something funny.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
But that's what people want. Like it's a feel-good thing that just makes people talk.
It would be nice if it still happens, but it doesn't. So we were lucky in that regard where they didn't have a huge marketing budget for us to begin with. And Carl and Jackie O had mandated that we were to have no advertising in Sydney because they were quite threatened by the show.
That's awesome.
And
wow, Kyle Sanderland's being ridiculous about something. That shocks me.
And so, but we were lucky
with.
because the press would write about what you were doing, and so you could sneak your way in that way, and it was also much cheaper.
So what you're saying is you could just be good. And then people will be like, "Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's it." But it doesn't happen anymore, unfortunately. Those kind of articles.
now it's just shock.
Someone will go. In fact, they're in shock if you're not selling anything. You go, "Hey, we're doing this really fun thing. Oh, what are you selling, or what's it for?" I'm like, oh, nothing.
Oh, well, think of just not profiting off it, and that's actually just our job. It's
exactly.
fun. Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to kind of click with people these days.
That's funny.
What was the craziest one you ever did? Like the one where you're doing it? Because we often find ourselves in situations where we're halfway through the bit, like the walk or something, and you go, "Yeah, just how did we think of this one again?" Like, what was the moment? Was it overseas or something?
We had the hardest one. I suppose might be not necessarily crazy, but when we were when I was blind for 50 hours and he was deaf, and we're trying to work together, I had a full breakdown.
Yeah,
like full mental breakdown.
You were blind?
Yeah.
That would be worse for sure.
And just we basically I had these things put over my eyes, these patches that were kind of bespoke to my eyes, and then another blindfold over the top of that. And then Hamish got his ears filled in with this stuff and was getting music played constantly. And we did that, and we did like the last 15 minutes of the radio show, and it was kind of all fun. And then they're like, let's get you to the project. And we drove there, and we went to the project. We're on live, the project. And so the adrenaline was going, and it was about an hour in. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then we got back to the car park. I just had full nervous breakdown. I just was like, I'd lost all my confidence. I just was scared everywhere I walked. I didn't, and at that point, Aim's going, do you want to stop? And I was like, no. I just need to get home. I think if I'm home and lying down.
The traveling around in unfamiliar places that you've never been with eyes, that'd be the worst bit.
Yeah. It was just, then they do it for all the students that are studying, medical students studying the eye, etc. They actually have this exercise where they blindfold them and see how long you can go. And the guy, when we were in there, the professor said, "Oh, look, the longest anyone's lasts is about 40 minutes. Like it just does your head in if you're not used to it." But what I found interesting about that was it became heaps easier. So the breaking point was probably 40 minutes.
Yep.
But then you got used to it. And you were like, it wasn't like the longer it went, the worse it got.
Well, you're paranoid
Well,
that
it
like
can't,
someone
because
would just...
otherwise every blind person would be insane.
Yeah, exactly. So it actually became better. I got my confidence, but yeah, I think that was the hardest.
Yeah.
You'd have to be paranoid of a sack tap or something like that. Just from like an immature mate going like, come on.
Well, that was the thing. I was like kind of walking around all crouched over, waiting for something to hit me, sack tap, those type of things. And Haim's like, to stand tall, you'll be fine. But it's amazing how much we hold ourselves, and this is getting a little bit deep, but your presence and the way you present yourself actually helps with your own confidence.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I was like this the whole time, I became timid. My voice was like a lot softer when I spoke to people. For some reason, I was really going back inside my shell.
Yeah.
And then Haim said he saw it kind of grow over the next day, where I was back confidence, and he said, "Should we have a running race? You can beat me normally when you're when you guys are open. You should be able." He goes, "I'll set you up on a field. I'll set you straight. And you just run, and I'll run."
Scary.
And I said, "Yeah, okay, let's do that." And he set me up in front of a fence, and and I went bang straight into this cyclone fence.
Trust gone.
Trust gone. and went all the way. It was like reversed everything. I was all the way back to here, and they're all pissing themselves laughing because it's been kind of 2 days of this, and we're getting bored, and we've kind of explored all the usual stuff. But I was panic attack back to this state, and Hamish afterwards said he was feeling this.
You know what's funny?
Oh,
Hamish is like one of my comedic heroes. He's like, I'm like, I'll tell people like, oh yeah, top 3 comedic minds in Australia. And he's like, I've got a good one. Yeah. We'll make him run into a fence.
But there's nothing funnier than that. You could spend a year writing a show. You'll never write a joke funnier than your mate running into something.
Yeah, exactly.
Never.
Or slipping over, or even just falling off the stage. You're probably going to better laugh than anything else.
And you know what? I stand by it. One of the greats.
Totally.
Well, what we were thinking of doing, Andy, is obviously, we've known you for like 2 years or so, but we've only ever, I've met you.
Isn't it longer than that?
It might be
Yeah,
longer.
We started in 2017, man.
27. Oh, even longer than that,
I
right?
thought we're getting up to our 4th year.
Yeah, COVID was like a year. That was just a
Yeah,
write-off.
that's true. I forgot about COVID.
Everyone, that's
It's like 2.5 real years and then probably 3.
and the coma year.
Yeah.
It feels like we all just went into this comatose state for COVID
Yeah.
and they're back out. Yeah.
That's true.
So I still feel like I'm 38.
Yeah.
Certainly not nearing 40. Go for it.
So we've only met once, like a one-on-one.
Yep.
Right. So us organizing things with you for our show, huge opportunity.
Yeah.
So we decided to reach out to you.
Yeah.
And Luke and I were like, oh, we need to do this right. Because we never invited you to our old warehouse.
No.
That was surrounded by brothers. You're not coming.
Thank
No,
you for
you saw
coming.
me there walking past.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
why are you going to that door, Annie? Nothing.
And then we didn't, when we moved to Frankston, we were like, well, he's not going to come to Frankston.
Mike came in for an
garage.
episode and said, I honestly thought this place looked like a crack den. I can't believe you live here, which was hurtful because that's Lewis's house, not our studio.
Yeah, I live here. I live
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
But then we moved into this new studio and we're like, oh, well, Andy will come here.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a chance. So we decided to craft an email, and we wanted to craft the most perfect email.
Great.
Luke and I almost had a falling out over the email that I sent you.
Not at all.
Over-
You crafted the
over
email
one
and ran
line.
it by me, and I just had one major concern with
Okay.
it.
Excellent.
I have the email here. I
Cool.
said, so this is very important. 3 paragraphs, nice, simple, friendly
Yes.
business. All right,
Yep.
because you're busy. I said, hey, Andy, hope you've been well.
Strong.
Good start.
Yeah, great
Yep.
start.
Luke and I have a
The
new
only thing the only reason that wouldn't be a good start
If you've been shit.
if I'd had like a huge accident. Say if I'd Tiger Woods it or something,
Yeah.
True.
and you hadn't noticed.
I should have
that I-
Googled you first.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
then you go, "Hey mate, hope you've been well." You're like, "Well, no, he's in hospital with crushed legs, but yeah,
Yeah, okay,
But,
well,
but you
that's
know,
good.
it's a safe place to start.
Yeah,
Hope you've been well.
okay. I
A little
said,
generic though. Were you yawning at this point of the email?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Real-
you're like,
a
oh.
quick yawn.
Been here, done that. Hope you've been well.
No, I think that's good.
all right. I'm getting nervous just reading this again. Luke and I have a new studio in Richmond. Mention that at the top because I know you're in the area,
Yep.
so that's real clear. We'd love to have you on the show as a guest, right? This is where it gets fucking risky, and talk all things Cube because you're doing a show called
Oh
The
yes,
Cube.
Which we haven't talked about.
No,
Yeah.
and you don't have to.
Yeah. Now
Watch the
that's-
cube. All right, done.
First half of that sentence, killer. Then I really rolled the dice here and I said, in brackets, I thought I'd get a bit funny, perhaps even sphere, end bracket.
Yes.
Little joke in there.
Yeah.
Talk all things cube, perhaps even sphere. Then I finished it off, come down, blah, blah,
Now,
from Lewis.
Lewis reads it back to me. He goes, hey, just about to fire this off. I go, start bit great. I get up to the sphere line. I go, is that funny?
Now, don't answer.
Don't
that.
answer yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we have an official game
Oh, great.
titled, very creatively, Was That Funny? We had the opener. Come on.
Sorry,
What are you
I panicked. I panicked.
Okay, it's not an opener.
Okay. Andy, when you received this email from me at 17th of March in the morning, and you read, we'd love to have you on the show as a guest and talk all things Cube.
So I'm just putting myself back in the state listing when I'm reading it.
Then you saw a bracket and read, perhaps even sphere, 2 question marks, in bracket. Andy Lee, was that funny?
No,
I told you.
it wasn't not funny.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what I mean? But it's a quip.
Was it good banter even? Like, we haven't spoken in like 2 years. That wasn't a great way back in.
It was a bit fun.
It's fun.
I just didn't get the NY.
Is it
Okay.
funny?
Can we play the game again? Was that fun?
Is it fun? It's a bit of fun. I reckon it is a bit of fun.
Yeah.
You're being generous.
I'm going to take it. A bit of fun.
Wow.
Made our show sound fun.
Yes. Here's the concern for you before you give yourself the correct. And you might want to hover. Are you allowed to touch the button?
Yeah, I can touch it.
Okay. You can hover over the incorrect one. But
That's incorrect. Yeah.
you guys are very funny, right?
Good.
In general.
Yeah.
So you've earned yourself a higher bar
Okay.
than others.
That's what I was worried about. I'm like,
So
dude, it doesn't reflect the show that well.
That particular bit of fun.
Still refusing to call it a joke.
Yeah. Has been said to me by nearly every regional radio station.
No.
Doing Aubrey level shit. What are you doing? We're from Gippsland.
We turned down a regional show. We said no.
I know you did. I know you did. And I love a lot of the regional shows. Don't get me wrong. So, but
Jack told us to.
But I just wanted to tell you the level of that bit of fun,
Yeah.
and that you can make up your own mind.
So, that means you're saying you expect more from us.
I expect a little bit more.
Well,
Okay.
I'm glad you said that because Andy, you are a part of one of Australia's most famous and I would say funniest comedy duos of all time.
Yeah,
Of
not
all
even,
time.
Not even one of the most.
The most.
Len or Woodley are great. Anyway.
But in terms of radio,
Yes.
you for shows like
You've
us,
set the
you
bar.
paved the way for sure. You know, we look at you and go, man, if we could get halfway there, that would be incredible.
So
Right.
we hold you in quite high esteem comedically.
Yeah. Luke?
So we were a bit shocked
What did I
when.
write back?
Oh yeah.
Would have been quick. Was I quick to reply?
Well, yeah, you were good on the
Yeah.
replies. You were very business, not fun at all.
I'm
Which
not
is-
fun
which is
on
fine.
email.
Well,
Wow.
aren't you? Okay, right. That's
yeah.
very interesting,
Okay.
Andy. He seems to be denying already. I received this email.
Great.
I received this email from you,
Yes.
Andrew Lee. Is your name?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you reckon there's a chance it wasn't from me?
Well,
Must be
okay.
nice.
Must be very nice.
Well, someone's been having a bit of fun on your account.
Yeah, there's another person in my life that has access to my account that sometimes helps me out with emails.
Well, I received this email from one Andy Lee.
Yeah.
We're organising times.
Slash
I said,
potentially
how about this
assistant.
time?
Yeah.
You said, let's do 4. I have something on. Sent from, ellipses, ... I will never reveal how this was sent.
Oh, that's a bit of fun.
But that's not the game, Andy. Lewis, you received the email, so I must ask you. Was that funny?
Sent from, I'll never reveal how this was sent.
The joke there being, often it says sent from iPhone.
Yes.
How do you feel about this?
Sorry, the fun there being.
I'm standing by that bit of fun. Yeah, I still think that's a bit of fun.
Andy?
You've locked in.
That was
Funny.
not funny.
So between all of us, we've had a pretty unfunny
unfunny,
interaction,
yeah.
but a little bit of fun, which is great.
Just a bit of fun.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's all you know. It's an email after all.
Yeah, exactly.
The fun happens here. The funny happens here. The fun's just business.
It's
Yeah.
funny you say that though, because
It's not really funny.
it's
a bit of fun.
It's curious you say that because
It's quite interesting, isn't it?
when Hamish and I first started,
Yeah.
every one of my emails was the attempt of the opening monologue for a Tonight Show. I was trying to prove that I was funny in every single bit of correspondence.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And
'cause
Ham
your
was doing
tone-
the same, and we'd just be like, particularly when you bumped into like Rove or Pete, in like when we loved Rove and just in the corridor, or some other comedian coming through, like Woodley's mentioned, like the extent of the zingers I was trying to reel out. And if there was ever any email correspondence, I'm sitting there trying to craft it, etc. And then you just gave me a bit of a wake-up call today.
You've decided to stop that now at 39.
No, I'm going to take it back up somewhere, along the way.
Yeah.
In my jaded career, I have given that away. I need to bring back more fun to emails.
Yeah.
I
but
think
you're still trying to have a bit of fun.
I was trying to have a little bit of fun, but it was
I think you felt pressured.
Preloaded fun.
True.
Like, that goes out in every single email I sent.
Oh.
I thought you've done that to me before.
Yeah.
So that's preloaded.
Oh.
Because you can set the sent by to anything.
Right. So
hang on.
That's the funniest thing you could think of.
That's not
for your
that
permanent
fun.
signature.
That was the funniest thing I could think of for the 5 seconds I thought about it in 2017.
Okay. Well,
Does that make it less?
that in mind.
Yeah.
Luke, I have a question for you.
Oh shit.
Is setting a signature preset many years ago, going into the settings of your email and then changing it to a bit of fun, years later, is that still fun?
Lewis. Andy.
Yeah.
It is still a bit of fun. But once again, that is not today's game. It is not funny.
Right.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good.
I'm sure Hamish has set his to something as well. Do you want to check and see whether his is a bit of fun?
Get him on the phone.
No.
The sound effect.
I'll see if I can find
And then-
a Hamish Blake email.
We can compare them.
I was going to say, I don't want anyone to have a chance to defend themselves. It's the game here is not explain why you thought this was funny.
He has.
Okay. All right.
He has. His reads, if you've received this email in error, you must immediately burn your phone and close and change names, cities, and best friends. Bit of fun?
Every email.
Every email.
Really
To me,
long.
that seems quite heavy. For
really long.
Every email, doesn't it?
That's a whole sentence. Yours is sent from I'll never reveal how this is sent.
Yes.
That's a bit of fun. That is a mouthful.
Maybe, let me see if it is on every one. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's not fun enough to justify being at every single email.
No, I agree.
Like
It's
Muse
too
will
long.
always play their biggest song at the end of the concert. If that's the best you could come up with, I wouldn't put it at the end of it.
It's on a few of his. I don't know how come it dips in and out. Maybe if it,
It'd be whether he sends it from his computer or his phone.
that'd be it.
Right, will someone ask the question? Because
Sorry,
this
is
is going on.
So, is it?
Is that funny?
Is that funny?
Well, I've never received an email, so
An email.
Well,
at
it's
all?
a question for you, Andy.
no. But I've never been on the
Oh, sorry,
receiving
it's
end
a question
of
for me.
Hamish's email, so you have.
When I first read that, I thought it was funny.
Oh, that's the fart noise. No.
Are
I've
you
played the
kidding, Luke?
fart.
We get Andy Lee on the show, biggest guest yet, and you play this. Disgusting.
But you're the one who put it on there. So
yeah, I think
it's
it's
not
pretty
my
funny.
Well,
What's that
just so
funny?
you know, I've worked with Jack for so long. A mistake is just actually what I expect when it comes to pushing the buttons.
Well,
great.
There you go.
There we go.
Thanks.
Yeah. So
Okay.
do you not have a funny sent by?
I didn't
No,
know you
I
could
don't.
do
I
that.
just have whatever.
So I thought it
have.
was a bit of spontaneous fun just to us.
Yeah.
Should I have one?
I think so. My girlfriend's is sent. Hers is a bit of fun. Definitely not funny, but hers is sent on the run is what. And then she's got a little running emoji.
I
so
like
people
that.
know that it's
She's always on the go.
that she sent it from her iPhone because it doesn't come up on my on my email.
I'll have to change it. Maybe if you could just send me an
What
idea
about-
and I could write the joke and then credit you.
What about
That's a nice idea.
next week? We write an email signature. We redo the segment. Was that funny?
Yes.
And we'll try and both write a funny one.
All right.
That's
Okay.
Why don't, or you could write one for each other and they have to use it for a year.
Yeah, you know what? Oh, that's good. And then
That's very good.
you know what? You'll be receiving 2 emails next week.
Yes. Why don't I receive?
And you just respond yes or no.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Why don't I'll actually
Yeah.
just respond with a sound effect.
Okay.
But they'll be labelled the same.
All right, and we'll just give it to the
And we'll
boys.
do a live reveal on the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
perfect.
really be bothered?
I can be bothered.
Okay.
All right. Well, what are the emails? Just how our day was.
That'd be nice. I mean, it's not
Sure.
not
Well,
a-
There
hey,
needs to be
thanks.
an
What
email.
about we go, hey, thanks for coming on, like a follow-up one, and then we'll end it
Yeah,
with
that's good.
Tell you what, this is important for the rules, and I'm a stickler for rules when it comes to games. The email of preceding the sign-off has
be
to be the
funny.
same.
well, it can't be funny as well.
Of
It can't be
course.
funny, but it has to be
Yeah.
the same.
Same email.
So I can't be.
Yeah.
No bias.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do it. We'll do it. And you know what? If one of them's funny, we'll just make that the Luke and Lewis email signature.
Ah, that's
Yeah, okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Great.
One other quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a funny voicemail message?
No,
Like
I don't.
temp-
I don't have
don't
one.
have a voicemail.
And I'll go out on a limb here and say they make me angry every time. First time, third time, I go, come on, let me read a leave a
Oh,
message.
our friend Lane, he has a pretty funny one from memory.
Made me angry.
I forgot what it said, but I remember being like, oh yeah. I remember
Ryan
laughing
Shelton's-
on his voicemail.
Mm.
Ryan Shelton's is, which makes me laugh even every time I hear it, is sorry, Mr. Call, please leave a massage after the thing.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
I
It's
really
the
like
first one
that.
that's never made me mad because it's short.
My one for years was, and you always forget that you do them.
Yeah.
Was if you're a telemarketer, like sorry, Mr. Call, if you're a telemarketer, I'll have 3 of everything. My credit card number is.
Yeah.
And then, but more recently, I've just gone, hey, sorry, Mr. Call, please leave. I think it's something like, please leave a killer pop hook straight after the beep.
Mm.
And what I found
People
is
do it.
people sing to me now.
That's great.
Which is, in fact, because now my voicemail records them.
Mm.
Here we go. I, for the first time, normally it's just like my dad singing Billy Joel or something, right? But more recently, I got a phone call from an actual recording artist.
Oh,
And
cool.
They started their own song,
That's killer.
and I saved it.
Who's the recording?
Ray Thistlethwaite from Thirsty Merc.
artist? Okay.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So we should be able to play this here.
This is a bit of fun.
This is a bit of fun.
You should put this at the end of your email.
Okay, here we go. Quite hard to hear.
That's
yeah, he
good.
goes into his own song.
Yeah.
Should I let you know?
go.
Bit arrogant to run with his own tune, but good on him. You
I
know,
should have
he's
written back.
confident.
I said Killer Hook.
Yeah.
No, it's a great song. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
is.
very exciting to hear someone actually sing their own song.
That would be a thrill. Live show for you.
Yeah. So
That's great.
And my sister tries to sing an original every time with regards to what she wants, which actually gets more annoying, I think, than my initial voicemail message that she's trying.
Yeah, because she's just trying to convey a message and you have to listen to her
Yeah.
string out the words in song. Yeah. Not very
Anyway,
efficient. We have
We
a
do
regular
segment. Yeah.
Oh.
You want to bring it in?
regular segment.
Yes.
Were you across this?
Yes.
Because we worried. We've put it on a past guest, Darren Levy, and he struggled with the improv
yeah.
of it. It's a segment. It's a joke format that we started doing off air called Do You Know?
Yes, love
Where
this.
It
Love this.
started out with Dave Hughes.
Yeah.
Dave Hughes is the best.
It's a really rhymeable name.
Shave
Yeah.
Cubes, Cave News, heaps.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
great stuff.
Yeah. That is great stuff. Yeah, you mentioned this, but I was having a quick think on the way in, and I'm hoping I've got the format right.
Well, one
Okay,
that we've
we'll-
done in
we'll-
the
we'll do some
past
for you as
would
well.
be Andy.
Yeah.
Do you know Carl Sanderlands?
Oh yeah, Carl Sandler. Let's know Carl Sandler.
Yeah, radio rival for years. You're probably familiar with him. If he did a handstand on a beach for 1.6 kilometers, would he be Miles Sander hands?
Pretty good.
He would be.
Yeah, he would be.
If he did
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to call him.
That was a bit of fun, wasn't it?
That's a bit fun. Someone stand and dance, I think, was a vile stand and dance, I think, was what was for Carl Sandland for some reason. I don't know why, but we're playing a similar game.
Because you nailed Vile
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then standard
Well,
dance.
I've got one.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
let's,
okay, great. We'll
let's-
do the segment.
We'll do,
Okay.
Luke, you'll
Yeah,
go
yeah.
first, and then let's go. This is Do You Know?
Hey boys.
Oh, I thought that was the intro.
No, bank.
Oh.
There we go. I don't know. This is why we used to have Radio Mike, but he's left for you.
No,
This is the result.
It's not on there.
Hey, boy.
Is it? Oh, no. It's absolutely not.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We don't need it.
All right.
Everyone
The opener sucks. It doesn't matter.
Openers are important.
Openers are very important.
All right.
Hey, Keelan.
Oh no, they've lost their mic.
Just lost the whole mic.
Oh my god.
No, it's not. You've labeled something as "Do you know?" but it's just an audio message.
Okay.
That's right. No opener. Luke, take it away.
Hey Lewis,
Yeah, mate.
and
Sorry.
do you know Andy Lee?
I've heard of him. He's been on the Luke and Lewis show currently.
Yeah, your first guest of the new studio.
Yeah.
Guest
Familiar
of
with
the
him?
year 2021.
Ooh, big call.
Well, if Jack Post comes on the show, pending. If Andy Lee was quite a horny flying insect, would he be Randy B? Oh, he might be.
I think he would
You're
be.
going to go with Randy Flea.
Oh, okay.
That's better.
Either or.
I like it.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Okay. Hey guys,
Good.
Yeah.
do you know Hugh Jackman?
Yes.
Heard of him? Wolverine.
Yes. If
And I'm
That's the
assuming
one.
you personally know him.
Yes. Yeah, your
if-
mate.
Yeah. If he was playing AFL football
Yeah.
and the coach asked him to go down and play on the opposition's full forward, and but he'd come back from pre-season.
losing, Lewis.
If he'd come back from pre-season a bit overweight,
Yeah.
would people call him Huge Backman?
That's good.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, okay, good.
They would. I reckon they
A
would.
long-winded setup.
Sorry,
That's good. I like the ones that you would go on a journey to get there.
Yeah,
'cause it
I've
makes
got a
the
longer
payoff
journey
good.
one for you. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
go.
did think of another one
Yeah.
that I didn't like. I was like, actually, it doesn't work. But I'm just going to try now. You give me the confidence.
Yeah, okay.
Hey guys.
Hey, mate.
Hey guys. Okay, love. Thanks very much for having me.
No worries.
Do
Thanks
you guys
for
know
coming
Denzel Washington?
Yes. Real handsome actor.
Yeah, really.
Can't
handsome.
remember anything he's been in.
Yeah.
But I know his name.
Well, if he like really loved tequila,
Mm-hmm.
right? And mixing it with like a lemon-based soft drink,
You've got me. I'm in.
and he thought that was really joyful.
Yeah. I'm hooked.
Would people call him Mezcal Squash and Fun?
Hey, I don't think they would. I don't think they would call him
I don't think anyone would say that.
No.
Is mezcal a brand of tequila?
Yeah, Mezcal is.
Is it an expensive brand?
It's
See,
not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mezcal Squash and Fun.
Denzel Mezcal. It doesn't really rhyme.
Denzel Menzel. That's pretty
Oh,
close.
no, Menzel.
Menzel, yeah.
Mezcal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's
Okay.
Mezcal. You're right. It doesn't really rhyme. But anyway, that's why. I should
I'm
never
glad
have
you
done
went
it.
with Huge Backman.
Huge Backman.
That's
Huge
all right.
Backman.
You got one in, and they don't always work. We have some listener ones here.
Just
as
Right.
one.
well.
We asked for submissions. I don't know if you guys find this. We're quite open about it. You guys are probably nicer to your audience. We get a lot of emails on our show. 95% of them is trash.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. We have
Terrible
a 5% rule
contribution.
here. There's a real 5% ruling elite of great content.
And
we,
the
we love
goal-
all the fans. We just don't love all their ideas.
But everyone tries to hit the top 5%.
it's
And
a
here's a
good
5%er right here.
Wow, that's good.
Okay.
When we did True Story, the TV show, and we asked people to submit stories.
Oh, that would have been some stinkers.
Yeah, because I saw flyers for that in every bar I went to, and I remember reading it, and you would go, "Oh, Damo, tell them the time you
That's
committed this
exactly right.
heinous crime."
We had about
go to too many bars in France then.
7,000. I think season 2, 7,000, around 7,600 stories came in. 40 usables.
And how many were actually made?
We made 10.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
low hit rate.
But yeah, 40 from So you're.
Wow.
I think so. For the listeners out there, I mean, you guys are actually batting above.
Yeah,
True.
maybe we do have a really high-hitting fan base. I mean, I was reading some of the emails for the show.
We were reading some of them out and going, "We got Andy on. We can't read
Come
any
on.
of these."
One was Junior Sigourney Weaver. What was it?
Horny beaver.
It was like
yeah.
something to do with they had a wet pussy. They're all gross. They're all just smutty and gross.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when we like the ones like, and we've told them this,
Yeah.
our favorite one
silly
ever
ones.
was Gay Son Touch Manakas with Jason Ackermanis.
That's
But it was a long-winded setup.
That's fantastic.
And Michael Bublé, if he was bike riding.
Cycle Oogle.
Cycle Oogle, a cracker.
That was great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have this one here. We haven't heard it, but here it
good
is.
luck.
G'day, boys.
Hey, man.
You know Benedict Cumberbatch?
Oh, yeah.
If
Yeah,
he
Avengers.
were about to mark a football, but got thrown off balance by his large twisted penis, would he be Benedict Fumblecatch?
He would be. That's great. He would. That's a good one.
That's good.
As soon as he said penis, I was like, where's he going with this?
Benedict
Fumblecatch.
Fumblecatch. That's so good.
That's a ripper.
That's very good.
Much better than Mezcal squash and fun.
Hey, Andy, you know Jack Post?
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who'll never come on this show. Yeah. If he was a frequent stealer of cooked bread,
Oh, yes.
would he be called Rack Toast?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I reckon that was fun. Oh, that's funny. That
With a Y.
That was
funny.
Yeah, that was more than a
Wow.
bit of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Mezcal squash and fun was a bit of fun. It wasn't even that much fun. But Huge Backman was funny.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman was good. Yeah.
We have
Great.
2 more things to get through. How much time do you have?
Yeah, great.
Okay. This one,
So he didn't say. He said that could
Yeah,
be
yeah, you
5
didn't really-
minutes. That could be
you were just like,
40.
well, depending on what your idea is.
Well, I've actually got to go to Michael Gudinski's memorial
Yes.
tonight.
Very sad news.
Sad news, but yeah. But I've got time.
Okay. This one, bit of a low bar for us. Well, more just a cheap move. We're about to pull a bit of a cheap move on you. It's got written down on our whiteboard. Was there ever an idea on Hamish and Andy that wasn't worth your time
Oh yeah, plenty.
that we can just have?
Oh,
Well, because often we have heaps of ideas.
But they're too
that
big.
They're too big.
We don't have the budget.
We don't have budget. We don't have
Yes.
producers here.
Yeah.
These guys, they don't really do much.
oh, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You literally, Andy walked in here and you're zooming around on Heelys. Are you going to defend this?
There wasn't no opener on here.
Good first impression. He didn't say anything about the Heelys though. So.
Yeah. So often we have ideas that are like, oh, that's just too hard.
Yes.
We would love to do it. We're wondering if you ever have the opposite problem. Oh, it's not big enough.
Oh,
and then
okay.
that would be the perfect fit for our show to do. Just some hand-me-down ideas.
We tried to. You can have this idea because it's so hard to pull off.
Right.
So we
it's
pull-
the exact opposite.
It's
Great,
exact
thank
opposite.
you.
No, not for budgetary issues.
Okay.
It's just logistically
Yeah.
difficult. We think so. Maybe it needs fresh minds to go. Hey, that's easy.
Yeah.
Obviously, greyhound racing is a thing.
Yeah.
And we thought a cat race would have been really interesting. We couldn't work out how to get cats to go in the direction you want them to go. And we obviously
Ring a bell.
Ring a bell.
Fresh mind.
But we loved the idea of everyone going down to the track and watching the cat race. And we thought maybe
The crowd will terrify them.
that's it. So we thought maybe they were in singlet, like tubes,
Yeah.
cylindrical tubes.
Yeah.
And so they could kind of go one way. And then we thought that could be, clear
Yeah.
tubes, which would be good. And then someone suggested, no, they would still get worried about the
And
crowd.
you have to aerate the tubes.
Yeah, because
the tubes, are, like, it's not like
the best
they're-
motivator
they're
for a
not
cat.
sealed.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I just worry about someone in this day and age calling animal cruelty on that one as well, like forcing
is a-
cats to race.
Because
or
the
something.
problem
yeah.
is that a real good motivator for dogs is food and love. A good motivator for a cat to run is purely terror.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You know what? One thing you guys can do, which is I kind of wanted to do for ages, but couldn't really be bothered, is enter as many competitions as I could.
We've already tried to do this
And that
by getting our
ruined our
fans to enter
emails.
our emails in just anything
Yeah.
they see. And we haven't had a single win, but our emails are ruined with spam.
Yeah.
So
because they were entering us in, and then some other unsavory websites as well.
Yeah. It went that way.
I've thought of an idea for the
We-
cat race.
Yeah.
What you could do is you get those clear cat backpacks, chuck them in there.
Yes.
Get a bunch of sprinters.
That's not a bad idea. Actually, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's
a
pretty
horrible
bad.
idea.
So were you talking about? So what were we just talking about just before that?
Just an idea that's just too. That's not big enough.
I kind of try to bury the bad ideas. They kind of just go to a place and never come
next
back.
time you're in a planning meeting,
Yes.
if Hamish throws something out,
That's
you
a
go,
good
that's
idea.
fucking shit.
We've
Send
had
an
some
email to
stinkers.
us.
We try not to do. Actually, it's kind of a bit of a loophole because that is a rhyming segment. But we've since banned rhyming segments on the show after Radio Mike kept trying to bring rhyming segments where he was like, "I want to do Mike's hikes," and then tried to fake one day on the show that he went on a hike. He didn't even go on the hike. He made an opener.
No, he wouldn't have hiked.
No way.
No
Mike
way.
doesn't.
And then he
hike.
tried to do Mike's bikes, and we went, mate, it's enough. You can't just rhyme your name. Although
Yes.
Keelan's Mealans was a popular segment.
Well, what about if Mike goes on a hike this year and he sends you a photo or something each week and goes, do I look like the guy that's hiked this week?
Well, the
Actually, one game we used to play, but we don't play anymore, that you should try and you could just do it with, ours is called Stranger or Dad. But
I think I remember this.
You could just change it slightly to be Stranger or Mum.
Yeah, you used to bring two people in.
Basically, a listener would bring in either an actor to play their dad or their actual dad, and we'd ask them a few questions, and we'd have to determine whether it was a stranger or dad.
Yeah, right.
It was much better if it was filmed, but we just did it on the radio. But we'd have to go, oh, you've got a very similar kind of nose, et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah.
All right, well, we don't want to copy that, so we'll do like, do you know this person or mum?
Yeah, exactly. That's
good.
That's it.
That's good.
Perfect.
All right.
I didn't really help you out there.
Shall we wrap up here with the one last thing that we need to check
I just want
off?
to thank you. You've actually, I don't know if you know about this, you've actually contributed, Hamish contributed to our set. Do you know what that is?
Oh, yeah, that's Hamish faked that he got a hole in one.
Yes.
Well, he assured us that it was definitely a real, definitely not fake, as the word "not" was underlined.
Right.
So
you're an avid golfer.
It was
And-
So it was very nice, actually. Your last day ever at the radio station.
Yes.
This was before you went on the band tour. Hamish left us a very nice note on our desk with that sign. And I think, was there some joke at the time where you'd never, because you love golf,
I've never got a hole in one.
and that's what he was trying to convince,
He was trying to prove to me that he'd got one before me.
thinking like, I went out there once, don't care about golf.
Which is
and
the
I got
thing
one.
about golf. There are people that are very poor at golf that have got hole in
I
one.
mean, it's a fluke.
Yeah.
Even if someone who was really good at golf got one in, it'd be a fluke.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah.
Like, so
I mean, you've got a better chance at
Sure.
affecting that fluke, but you're right.
you'd be like, I was trying to get near the hole, but I wasn't trying to get it in. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you've never got a hole in one. We wanted to give you a chance to redeem yourself today.
Well, before we
Ruben?
do that, we should talk about the note that Hamish left.
Oh
us
yeah, there was one
because
minor note left. I
wrote-
took a picture of it.
I know we've talked a lot on this episode about correspondence between us, and really breaking down.
Yeah, you guys have really trawled over any correspondence we've had with you guys.
We've gone, all right, we've got Andy on the show.
coming
Let's
off as a bit
overthink
weird.
everything.
Yeah. No,
But
we've
this is
always
important.
joked about this for years because of this note that he left. At the end of this note, lovely note, he
This is
said,
on your final day of radio.
he just signed off the note by saying, "The radio world is yours now. Look after it." So for years we've been like, we own it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to just kind of finish this by just saying that you can come back to radio whenever you like.
Yeah.
That's cool. But you do have to ask us for
Permission?
just run it by us because he kind
we
of
own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
It's
gave
yours
it
now.
to us
Yeah.
now.
And
And we're not even on radio
you guys-
anymore, but
yeah.
we haven't passed it on to anyone else since, so we still own it.
Isn't that kind of assuming that we owned it?
Yeah, a little bit arrogant.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
You know,
He's just straight up ignoring the fact that Hughesy's still on.
yeah,
you know?
yeah, all those guys. We the best. I love handwritten notes, and that's really nice to hand
Yeah, it
me
was
that.
very lovely.
Luke cried. It was nice.
Oh, it was very lovely. I was really drunk.
He was
It was after a work party, and you were like, it wasn't at the Node. It was like, we achieved our dream job of being on radio, and you like hugged me and were like, dude, this is so cool.
It is cool.
Like,
It is.
It wasn't at the Node. I wasn't like,
seems like it was at the
we
Node.
are on radio now. Fuck.
We got, when Hamish and I stopped it, briefly paused.
Me, I'm so cool. I almost ripped it up and didn't
Yeah,
show him.
exactly.
I didn't care at all.
Light it.
Oh, it was very nice.
When we finished, and we did in 2010, like when the show that kind of run before we went and did Gap Year, we did this huge show at
What's he doing there?
Sorry, that's just Ruben doing nothing.
How can you do nothing so loudly? Yeah, we did a show at My Music Bowl.
Yeah.
It was awesome. 10,000 people, 9,000 people, something, and U2 came on. And Bono knighted us on stage, which was like fun. But we thought
fun.
That's a bit of fun.
Ignited by Bono? Yeah.
We went back, like that was pretty awesome day.
Yeah.
Went downstairs afterwards, and in our dressing room was 4 Guinness cans and a note from U2. Wow. And it just said, the world belongs to 2 guys called Hamish and Andy. That's all it said.
Yeah.
Bono, Edge, Adam, and the other guy. I'm sure he put his full name on, but
So that's crazy. So
now
now
you're in the world.
You are a slightly smaller world since they gave us radio.
yeah. So I'm just the world belongs to us.
Radio belongs to us.
you
You
guys-
guys still in the world. Shit.
Yeah. So we must have sublet radio back to you guys, owning the world.
Radio's more airwaves.
Yeah.
It happens above the world.
Yeah,
we use your
exactly.
infrastructure, and
Yeah.
we're very grateful. But at the end of the day, radio belongs to us, so you do have to ask permission.
We will. I promise.
Yeah.
I promise we will.
And next time I want to buy a house, I'll ask you if it's okay.
yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Redemption.
yeah, we did want to give you, it just says the one word redemption on the whiteboard. We wanted to give you a shot at, and we will say this, the budget ain't high on our show, but we
I mean, it looks bloody good here.
yeah, look, we give off the illusion that we're doing quite well. We're not. But
Just would, mate.
we will make, if you get this in, we'll try and get a similar trophy made
For me,
to,
fantastic.
to give to Hamish.
I'll give it to Hamish.
We have
to
an-
suck.
to
We'll
say-
give it to you, but more like to rub it in going,
Oh yeah,
suck
sorry,
shit,
yeah,
I have
yeah.
a trophy
Andy Lee
too.
Holland one suck on.
'Cause this is-
In fact, on the trophy, right? Andy
in.
Lee Holland one suck on that. Hamish.
Suck on that, great.
That's good, because you've never got a hole-in-one before. We're going to present you with the opportunity
All right,
to
Ruben.
get your very first
Right.
hole-in-one.
Um,
Ruben, it's time for
not
your first
quite
task of
on
the
the
day.
scale of a golf course. It's golf putting mat that has been in my dad's garage since the 90s. I remember putting on this as a kid at family fun nights
It
at
looks-
the local
It
school.
looks like it's been rolled up, so it's got a lot of undulations to it all.
But
Luke-
can I say, I got
Luke-
3 in a row before.
Yeah.
Did you?
He did.
Very hard.
It's not very hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
But oh, sorry.
G'day, boy.
Wrong one. Hang on. It's really hard.
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Gee, it seems hard.
Although you only got one shot. It's hole in one.
it's
and
like
I've-
Eminem.
One opportunity. Also, we have a my putter, which I got when I was 14 as well. 1900s? 1940s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think during the Second World War it was made.
Andy Lee,
He's-
this is your chance to get a hole-in-one. How do you feel about the green?
Trying to get the microphone. That's all right. That was Ruben's job.
Normally in golf, you don't get a huge blue line telling you exactly how to get to the hole.
It's helpful, isn't it?
So this is great. This is really helpful.
Bit of abnormal golfing.
Yeah. I think there's a light breeze from right to left, which shouldn't play too big a part. And probably because Ruben's left a door open somewhere.
He will do that.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
All right. Can he do
Andy Lee. I haven't watched golf in a while, but Andy Lee steps up to the ball. It's a putt. Silence, please. Sorry. Quiet, please. I did. Silence is the tennis.
it? Okay. Oh, he hasn't got it. No hole in one. Oh, he's leaving.
he's left.
Oh, no, he's cracked it. We blew
We
it.
thought that was going to be such a triumphant end to the episode. We
Guys.
even made a winning sound effect.
Oh, well, you know what? We'll play the sound effect for us because we got Andy Lee on the show.
Woohoo! Guys, thanks for listening. Cheers for Random coming on. We'll be back on Thursday.
Grab your tickets. Bye.